Hello and welcome to Get Great at Maths. Today's video is a GCSE Mathematics OCR J560 exam paper question from the June 2022 series on the higher tier paper 4. This is on the calculator paper and we're looking at question 5 today. So question 5 is a question to do with scatter graphs. And in scatter graphs, you've got a lot of key information and you can see there are lots of little crosses on the diagram that you can see where the height is going along in the x-axis and the temperature is going up in the y-axis. And on question 1, all you've got to do is plot the information on the scatter graph. So it says plot these on your scatter diagram. So the scatter diagram is the diagram above. And the question is worth 2 marks. You have got to plot 2 points, so you'll get a mark for plotting each point correctly. So the first point you're going to plot is a height of 500 and then a temperature of 8.8. So you need to look across in your x-axis to the height of 500. Then you're going to go up to a temperature of 8.8. Now looking at your scale here, you've got between 8 and 9. You've got 5 little squares, which means 8.8 is going to be 4 little squares up. So you need to make sure you come up 4 little squares here for 8.8. And if you plot that accurately, you will get 1 mark. The second mark comes from plotting the second point, which is at 1,580 and a height of 1.2, or the temperature is 1.2. So 1,580 is going to be between 1,500 and the 1,600. Again, we've got 5 little squares between here, so this time it's going up in 20s, so we're 1 square away from the 1,600 is where we're going to be plotting across. And then we've got to go to a height of 1.2, so here's our 1 here, and then we're going to go up 1 little square higher than that to give me the new point. And again, if you can plot both those points accurately, you'll get the full 2 marks. The mark scheme says clearly 2 points are accurately plotted, and B1 is a method mark for each point plotted, and there are 2 marks on the mark scheme for plotting these points. There is a tolerance of plus or minus half a small square, so if you are slightly out, you are allowed to still get the marks, so just make sure you are very accurate where you're plotting. Now part B says describe the type of correlations shown in the scatter graph. Now there are 3 different types of correlation. You've got a positive correlation, you've got a negative correlation, and you've got no correlation. Now positive correlation is when the graph, you've got your 2 axes, your x and your y axis, and the points go up in just got a little cross going here. That's it. So going up in this kind of direction. And later on, they'll ask you to draw a line of best fit. And if the points are going in this kind of direction, you've got a positive. Now, our points are going totally the opposite direction to this. So this is a negative correlation. If the points were scattered all over the place, then there would be no correlation. So this was just worth 1 mark for stating the word negative. If you did write negative correlation, that is absolutely fine. It just says you can ignore anything extra that's added. The key word we're looking for is the word negative. Now part C is we've got to draw on a line of best fit and we've got to estimate the temperature at 1,000 meters. Now the line of best fit is a straight line that goes through the majority of points, and you've got an equal number of points below the line and above the line. So I've just drawn a line on here, going through as many points as I can, and there are 5 points below the line and there are 5 points above the line. So this is a good line of best fit. Now I'm going to look for a height of 1,000 meters. So here, if I come across to my axis till I get 1,000, if I come up until I hit my line of best fit and then draw a line across, this will estimate the temperature. Now I'm between 5 and 6, so I've got a temperature of 5.5. So you would get 2 marks in this question, 1 mark for drawing the line of best fit, 1 mark for getting 5.5. They're both your marks. Now the exam paper mark scheme says that you've got method marks, so a B1 mark for drawing your line of best fit, and then there's a second mark for getting any number between 5 and 6.5. So depending on where your line of best fit is drawn, any value between 5 and 6.5 will give you the second mark on part C. On part D, we've got to draw a circle around the outlier on the scatter graph. So the key word here is an outlier. Now the outlier is a point that doesn't fit with the rest of the data. It's out on its own, nowhere near the rest of the data. And the point you're looking for is the point I've just circled here at the top. So if you've indicated the point 1209.2, you have got 1 mark, and that's shown on the mark scheme. In part E, we've got to explain why using the scatter graph to estimate the temperature at 1,800 meters may be unreliable. So 1,800 meters is down here on the right hand side. You can see that is before, or that is after my line of best fit. So the line of best fit is not near this point 1,800. So we don't really know what's going on at this stage here. So the graph could be unreliable because we don't actually know what is going on. Now the mark scheme gives several reasons. So they accept any correct explanation, which is worth 1 mark, which is not particularly helpful when you're coming to mark the exam paper. But it does say see the appendix. And in the appendix, right at the end of the mark scheme, you get all this information here. So if you give any of the reasons at the top, which I'm just highlighting here, so any of these reasons up here, you will get 1 mark. Any of the reasons underneath, you get 0 marks for any of these reasons down below. So none of the ones below the line that I'm just about to draw in, none of these are valid, but everything above the line is valid. On the reasons for not, you've got LOBF, that means line of best fit. So the line of best fit does not reach there. That is not good enough for a mark. The answer is not on the scale. Again, not good enough for a mark. The pattern may change when the temperature goes below 0. Again, not good enough for a mark. So what they're looking for is too far away from the last piece of data, or the recordings haven't been taken since 1,580 meters. So they're looking for you to put in numerical values to state where the last data was put in. It would need another recording after 1,800 to average. The last temperature recorded near 1,800 is 1,580. So any of the reasons here above the line are acceptable. So I'll let you have a read through any of those to see which one you chose to use. Part F, you've got to work out the percentage of the 15 temperatures which are below 6 degrees Celsius. Now this is a 3 mark question, so this is the hardest question we've got here. So it's worth 3 marks, and the key is this 6 degrees Celsius. So I've just drawn a line across at the 6. Then we've got to look at below. So this is below the line. So I'm going to look at how many points are below the line. So I can count them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points which are below the line. And from these 6 points which are below the line, I've then got to find the percentage. Now to work a percentage out, I've got to find my fraction and then times that fraction by 100 to make a percentage. Now I've got 6 that are below out of my total of 15. Then I'm just going to times it by 100 to make it a percentage, which will give me 40%. So 40% of them are below. On the mark scheme, you can see that you've got B1, which is a method mark for getting 6. There is a method mark for doing your 6 divided by the 15 times by 100, and your third mark comes for getting that 40. So here where the 3 marks are awarded for. Thanks for listening. This was a video done by Get Great at Maths. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and subscribe to watch more. Thanks.